The nostalgia for the 1990s has been in full swing over the past few years, with fashion, music, and pop culture from that decade making a major resurgence. From chokers and slip dresses to butterfly clips and platform sneakers, the styles of the 90s have been embraced by Gen Z and even reworn proudly by millennials who once rocked them in their youth. Yet not everyone is convinced that all trends from that era should be celebrated. Jenna Hager and Savannah Guthrie, the beloved co-hosts of NBC's Today with Hoda and Jenna, recently weighed in on which 90s fads they believe should remain in the past. Their conversation, which sparked laughter and plenty of playful debate, also shed light on how fashion trends circle back around, and why some looks are better left as memories. The discussion unfolded during a light-hearted segment where the pair explored nostalgic fashion moments and ranked which ones they might try again. With both women having lived their teenage and college years through the 90s, their takes were rooted in lived experience rather than just glossy Instagram recreations. Jenna, known for her candid sense of humor, and Savannah, often the more measured but equally witty voice, were quick to call out specific items that made them cringe. Jenna didn't hesitate when it came to declaring her least favorite trend: the ultra-thin eyebrows that dominated much of the decade. "I feel like we all went through that plucking stage, and I regret it every single day," she confessed. The audience chuckled as she mimed the overzealous tweezing that many women fell victim to during that era. "I spent years trying to grow them back. And honestly, some of us never recovered." Jenna's remark resonated with viewers, as social media immediately lit up with comments from fans who recalled their own overplucking disasters. Savannah, meanwhile, pointed out another 90s staple she wished would stay buried: the low-rise jeans. "Those jeans were not made for real women," she said, shaking her head with a laugh. "They were so uncomfortable, and the way they sat on the hips, it was just not flattering for most of us." She elaborated on how the trend often left women feeling self-conscious, as the cut accentuated stomach exposure and made finding a comfortable fit nearly impossible. "I just think mid-rise and high-rise jeans are so much kinder to our bodies," Savannah added. "Let's never go back." The duo's playful banter quickly expanded into a list of questionable 90s styles. Savannah teased Jenna about frosted lipstick, recalling how many girls wore shimmering pale shades that made lips look oddly chalky. Jenna admitted she had a drawer full of those lipsticks in high school and confessed that, at the time, they felt like the height of glamour. "Now when I look at pictures I'm like, what were we thinking?" she laughed. Other trends that earned a firm no from the hosts included tiny tinted sunglasses, which Jenna joked made people look like they were auditioning for The Matrix, and excessive body glitter. "Glitter was everywhere," Savannah said, rolling her eyes. "You'd hug someone, and suddenly you were sparkling for the rest of the night. It got on everything: your clothes, your furniture, your poor dog." Still, both women were quick to acknowledge that not every trend from the 90s deserves scorn. They praised some comebacks that they consider fun and stylish. Jenna admitted she's thrilled about the return of slip dresses and platform shoes, while Savannah said she secretly enjoys the re-emergence of scrunchies. "They're practical, and they don't rip your hair out," she noted. "That's one I can get behind." What stood out most during the conversation was the generational lens through which Jenna and Savannah approached the topic. For them, the 90s weren't just a fashion experiment. They were formative years filled with memories of high school dances, college nights, and first jobs. The trends they now cringe at were once tied to moments of joy, awkwardness, and self-discovery. That emotional connection helped explain why, while they may laugh at frosted lips and thin brows, they still speak fondly of the era itself. Fashion experts often note that trends move in cycles, typically returning after about 20 to 30 years. That explains why so many 90s inspired styles have resurfaced among younger generations. For Gen Z, who never lived through the original moment, these looks feel fresh and exciting rather than dated. But for those who did, like Jenna and Savannah, the memory of their original context often colors their reaction. The co-host's commentary also touches on a broader cultural conversation: the pressure women faced during the 90s to meet narrow beauty standards. From the waif-thin supermodel look to the demand for plucked brows and low-rise jeans, many of the decade's trends were unforgiving. Savannah and Jenna's critiques highlight how these styles weren't just about fashion. They reflected a cultural moment that often prioritized unrealistic ideals. Their rejection of those trends today signals how perspectives on beauty and comfort have evolved. Their audience, both in the studio and online, seemed to agree. Fans flooded social media with their own never again lists, ranging from tattoo chokers and cargo pants to the infamous Rachel haircut. Many echoed Jenna's point about eyebrows, sharing stories of years spent trying to recover from overplucking. Others chimed in with Savannah's distaste for low-rise jeans, calling them the least body-positive trend ever. The conversation wasn't just a trip down memory lane. It also provided an opportunity to laugh at the sometimes questionable choices everyone makes while growing up. Jenna summed it up perfectly when she said, "Part of being young is making those style mistakes. And then when you're older, you can laugh about them." Even as the co-hosts poked fun at the trends, there was an undercurrent of appreciation for the way the 90s shaped who they became. Jenna noted that even though she wouldn't wear frosted lipstick again, she still remembers the confidence it gave her as a teenager heading out with friends. Savannah admitted she may hate low-rise jeans, but they were part of her college experience, and she can look back now with a smile. In the end, the segment reminded viewers that fashion is cyclical, subjective, and deeply personal. What one person vows never to wear again may be another's favorite nostalgic piece. For Jenna and Savannah, the humor lies in acknowledging the past, appreciating how far we've come, and embracing the freedom to decide what works best now. As the show wrapped up, Jenna jokingly suggested starting a 90s fashion support group for all those still scarred by thin brows and glitter overload. Savannah laughed and agreed, adding that the only requirement to join would be showing at least one embarrassing throwback photo. Whether or not that group ever forms, one thing is clear. The 90s will always hold a special, if slightly cringeworthy, place in pop culture history. And thanks to voices like Jenna Hager and Savannah Guthrie, we're reminded that while some styles are fun to revisit, others are best left as snapshots of a bygone era. Their candid confessions struck a chord because they were more than just critiques of fashion. They were reflections of how much women have grown since that decade. From body positivity to self-expression,